Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia chapter 218. And to start off the chapter, I like this particular chapter. It did something rather interesting this week, which is that it focused on the support side of hero work. But it didn't just. But I'm not just talking about the support for heroes, but it also showed that of it also but pretty much through basically the introduction of this support company in this chapter, we basically get a feel for basically how pretty much how the support side of hero work goes when a company who delves into supporting people with quirks pretty much manages to supply goods and services to those who are heroes and those who are just regular day citizens. So I like how we get a bit of a dive into this because it shows that basically because it goes into the whole belief that not every single hero in society even needs to wear a costume. In fact, seeing something like this, it weirdly makes me appreciate all the little moments and times that we've gotten in the series where we basically see May helping out the hero, helping out everyone in the hero course. Like those particular moments are goofy. Don't get me wrong, but it makes me appreciate all the work that pretty much May has done has actually done for pretty much our cast of heroes. And don't get me wrong, I've appreciated her. I've always thought that pretty much May was basically a good character to begin with, but yeah. Just pretty much seeing this, just seeing this particular side of the support side of hero work. It just gives me a better understanding and a better grasp and even just a better appreciation for pretty much for all those that do pretty much work in the support course of hero work, or that's work in the support course or just support side of hero work in general now. Although after the reveal in this chapter, I guess that's although after the reveal in this chapter, it also revealed a bit of a dark side to it also revealed that particular side, that particular hero work's dark side as well. Because, let's talk about the big reveal, which is that we basically get introduced to a brand new organization that's simply known as the super, as I think it's the Superpower Liberation Army. I think I'd have to go back I'd have to go back and I'd have to go back and like what was it again? Or yeah, Superpower Liberation Army. I'll just go with that for now. And I will admit, and I'm sure that with this reveal, we can easily draw a whole lot of examples to something like the Revolutionary Army from One Piece but within the realm of the My Hero Academia world, I think that these particular guys, just from what we see of their belief and their ideals and just who these guys are, they pretty much seem to they pretty much seem from what I see they seem to carry themselves in a similar but much more radical way in comparison to the main characters of the Vigilante spin-off series. Of course, at least if you look at them, from the perspective of they consider themselves enemies of the League of Villains, but obviously they really don't trust the current hero system to pretty much get the job done. So for as radical as these guys are, that they're pretty much the middlemen. They pretty much do their own thing, and they don't want to associate themselves with the heroes, but they realize the threat that the League of Villains faces, and they're willing to pretty much, and they're willing to fight it, and they're willing to take him out or something like that, or yeah, and obviously with the liberation part of it, and they're hoping that the actions they take are going to change the way that pretty much that this world sees world sees the whole rules about using quirks and whatnot, which in itself is under it's kind of a double-edged sword in a lot of ways, because if there's absolute freedom, then obviously there, like, if there's absolute freedom, I'm sure that there'd probably be less villains. But at the same time, if there's absolute, but at the same time, I think that almost leaves that leaves, if left unchecked, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that something like that could easily go south. So it's it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting character study for sure, and see what side, see what particular, where is it that you basically draw the line in that particular argument? Where obviously in obviously in this current world, obviously there's way too many restrictions, obviously, but take all the restrictions away, yeah, it might be a little difficult. So it should be, yeah. I'm curious what purpose these guys are gonna play in the future in general, I guess. Um, Now, I gotta talk about Destro, specifically his character design, because when I first saw him, his overall appearance looked vaguely familiar to me, but I just couldn't place it. Then I saw him put on his hat, and suddenly it clicked in me. And I don't know if Horikoshi was basically aware of this or not when he was designing this character, but the moment he put on his hat, I clearly saw some inspiration from basically the DCAU's Joker, or more specifically in this case, it feels like Horikoshi when with the design of Destro, it feels like Horikoshi went for kind of a similar design of the Joker's pretty much former identity of Jack Napier, and people who've watched the movie The Mask of the Phantasm will basically know where I'm coming from with this comparison. Actually, you could argue that Destro's beliefs are similar to kind of the Joker's in some way too. So I guess that's another thing you could probably draw from it. Um, and although I will say one thing, I think the one thing that really kind of sucks, with this chapter is that Horikoshi completely skipped over us being able to see pretty much Bakugo and Todoroki's final test. But I guess he figured he's focused enough on the license exam, and thought that the better test would in fact be in order to see how in order to see how it, the better test of seeing how far Bakugo and Todoroki have come is to put them up against the Liberation Army. Which, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm all hyped. I'm all hyped for that, because I think if anything, I think these guys are gonna provide a better kind of feel, and a better kind of just an overall a better test of their current abilities than any kind of test or exam could do. Although again going back to that, I'm still kind of partially hoping that pretty much Horikoshi at least kind of picks a bit of a time and place in order to go back and actually show us that, and actually show us the final test, like pretty much not now, but even if it's in flashback, in flashback of this fight, I'd be open to that too. So yeah, I really want to know as if we're, but yeah, for now I'm hyped for this fight, and I really can't wait to see where exactly I can't wait to see what kind of a beatdown brawl this is gonna take, because and I think one thing I really want to I think one thing I think that Horikoshi is really gonna test with this particular matchup, though, is that we're probably gonna see how far Bakugo has come in terms of Bakugo, and to a degree Todoroki have come in terms of the whole lesson of limiting a lot of the civilian casualties, because in this current setup they're in, it's gonna be loaded with civilians. So yeah, with this whole setup it's pretty much a test in itself to see how they fare in a heavily populated area, I guess you could say. So yeah. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AniList, or Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.